Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining me here today. I wanted to talk about something very personal to me, and that is recovering from long-term injury. I'm talking like down and out, not I stubbed my toe, I banged my funny bone, that sucks. I'm talking like car accident. I'm talking you fell off a ladder. I'm talking recovering from serious burns and injuries like that. My personal story is I hurt my lower back. This was completely my fault, moving a large piece of furniture like an absolute idiot and not asking for help. Check out my other video about asking others for help and why that's important. I don't know, I thought I could do it. And it seemed like asking for help, even though my neighbors were on either side of me across the street. I knew them all on a first name basis. There was no reason why they wouldn't have come out to help me to move that piece of furniture out of that moving truck. But I guess it became a source of pride for me. So I started heaving and pulling on this piece of furniture, and I felt like every muscle in my body was shaking to absolute exhaustion. But I just thought if I kept pushing on, I could do it. And I felt a pop in my back, my very, very lower back. This wasn't painful in the moment. It shocked me. I've never felt anything like that. I felt it more than heard it. But yeah, a pop is the best I could say, is what it sort of felt like in the moment. I quit doing the work and I kind of sat there for a moment, almost doing like a systems check. Like, am I okay? Is anything broken? Nope. Okay, back to the moronic task of moving this piece of furniture solo. And later that night, I started to feel lower back pain. And the next day it was so bad I could barely get out of bed. And progressively for the next 3 days it got worse and worse, to finally, over the course of a few days, I was walking with a hump, like a hunchback. I'm 6 feet tall, standing perfectly erect, and at this point I was maybe 5 foot. Probably more like 4'5". Like, I'm talking hunched right over. It got so bad that anytime I was standing or walking, I had to have the use of a cane. And this was not a short-term injury. I would say walking with a cane, being down and out quite at that level, was almost a year, I would say. And it was crippling, not just the pain and the discomfort every day of getting out of bed, agony. Like, I'm talking like biting on a leather belt to get out of bed and dress myself. That's how bad it was. I would spend most of my days just sort of taking it easy, sitting on a couch, switching positions as best I could. But the worst was, yeah, getting up and lying down. And the pain was chronic. It was constant. There were better days than others, but I was frequently seeing my doctor, and she signed me up with some physiotherapy, which worked wonders. But this was a slow burn. This was not a miracle cure. Everything was better in a short period of time. Like I said, just walking with a hump like that with a cane was a solid year. And the road to recovery thereafter, even when I could stand fully erect, took longer than that. So I know pain. I know what it's like to be down and out. But honestly, I tried to have a positive attitude through it. I saw it. I tricked myself in my brain into thinking, oh, I'm on a vacation. I obviously had to take the time off of work. I was working a full-time job. They were very informed as to my condition, and I was completely down and out, couldn't work, couldn't go out and do things socially, and I'm a homebody anyways, so again, I tried to make the most of it. I tricked myself into thinking that this was a holiday away from work, and I was just taking it easy, playing video games, reading books, watching movies, spending time at home. And again, being a homebody, I enjoyed that, but trust me, it was no vacation. I was in a lot of pain, and not only the pain, it was embarrassing to go anywhere looking like I did. I'm not a prideful person, but I certainly like to look put together when I go out. So going out somewhere, walking like that with a cane, being a young man, it was humiliating. And the whole weakness of the furniture moving in the beginning, even just going to physiotherapy and trying to do my best, it was very difficult. Even just getting there, it was no short drive from my home to get there. So I would say just getting ready to go there, doing the physiotherapy and coming home was 4 hours of my day. And I'm not complaining. I was off work, and like I said, I was having my pseudo vacation in my brain, but it took a lot. And I really thank that physiotherapist for getting me back on my feet and pushing me to what I thought were my limits, and thinking of inventive new exercises, yoga poses, stretches, floor exercises, things I could do to get back on the road to recovery. I was recommended to sit with a surgeon, which I did, and everybody's got a phobia, whether it's spiders, heights, what have you. Mine is surgery. Even in that, I hear that word and I can feel goosebumps on my arms. I had some childhood trauma having my appendix removed improperly and wasn't necessary when I was about 4 years old. And whether the experience was as traumatic as I remember it being young, regardless, as I've grown up, I've come to fear hospitals, surgeries, things like that. So I met with the surgeon. I didn't really say that I was terrified of surgery and didn't want it. I basically just kept an open mind and listened to the surgeon. And thankfully, whether it was my guardian angels, the stars above, or just my inner feelings of not wanting it, they did not recommend me for surgery because I was reacting so well to physiotherapy. So that was sort of my road to recovery over about a year to a year and a half before I was finally back to work, living somewhat of a normal life. But I have to be honest, this injury is never going to go away. This is permanently with me, and I fight against it every day to live a normal life. And one thing that's really saved me, I have a small ball. It looks like a big yoga ball, but shrunk down. And I put that under the small of my back. I do a floor exercise and some yoga poses every day. As long as I don't skip that routine, I pretty much live a back pain-free life, which is incredible and I'm so thankful for. But vacation, going for even just a few days to stay with family, I have to take this ball with me and I have to plan out some time in my evenings to do these exercises, or I'll be right back where I was. I've skipped a day or two just being, not thinking of it, not making it a priority while I'm off on Christmas break and things like that, and it shows. I know right away, hey, you've missed. It's like skipping a meal. You know you're hungry, and I can feel this back pain flare up almost immediately if I've skipped even one day of this routine. One really dark place that I think people's minds can go when they're in this situation, and this was really the main reason why I wanted to make this video, was not just to kind of whine and complain about my chronic pain and that horrible year of my life where I was down and out, but I spoke to a friend while I was going through that, and he said that his friend had gone through the same thing. It's a herniated disc is what happened to me. The discs are the little spongy membranes that line up one in between each of your vertebrae. The last one, L5-S1, that's mine. That's out of whack. It's out about half. And the only thing for surgery would be to trim it off. They can't really push it back in, and that's how it is. So anyways, I was saying a friend of mine had a friend who was very active. He was a skier, he snowboards, martial arts, you name it. Like, he was very, very active. I think he motocrossed and mountain biked. He had a similar injury. I don't know what caused this person's injury, but he was down and out and he could barely walk and he was going through chronic pain. And what he told me was his friend was thinking dark thoughts, like ending life kind of thoughts. And that really, really hit me, because as sometimes depressed I was, being down and out with that kind of pain, my mind never went there. I have a zest and a zeal for life. I think every day is beautiful, and even in that dark place, I still tried to see the best of it. And above all else, I knew I was going to recover. I knew things were going to go back to normal, as much as my normal life is now. Like I said, not having to skip a day of my exercises, but hey, maybe that's for the best too. Strengthening up my core and taking that time out of the day, sort of even just to meditate, lay on the floor in silence and stretch, that's probably really good for me. So you can see you can take the good side of any situation, even a really bad one. But hearing about that person's thoughts of being so traumatizingly negative because they had a very active lifestyle and they were out doing things, and now they feel like they're chained to their apartment, their condo, what have you, and they can't experience anything that they enjoyed in life. So my heart goes out to anybody out there who's suffering from chronic pain and injury, and I've recovered as much as I'm going to, and I am so thankful, not that it happened, but I'm thankful that I'm recovered from it, and it taught me a lot about seeing the silver lining in situations at times. But just thinking about that other person's situation, and I didn't know this other person, like I said, this is a third-party story told through a friend of mine, friend of a friend. To think that someone's mind could go to that really dark place, I just wanted to make this video and let you know that people suffer from this, and much worse, I'm sure, than what I went through. And I'm so thankful I'm recovered from it. But if you're in a dark place like that, just know that things are going to get better. There's a ridiculous 80s song that I still hear frequently to this day. I don't remember all the lyrics, but the chorus goes something along the lines of, if you just hold on one more day. And I smile and laugh, and I think about that song almost like a meme for life. And I think, yeah, you know, in dark times, in dark moments, recouping from an injury and being down and out and not being able to enjoy your normal life to its fullest, I think about that song, if you hold on just one more day. And that really could get somebody through another day to think, you know what? Tomorrow's going to be better. I can get through this. I'm strong enough. And even in your darkest places, just look forward to tomorrow. Look forward to when you're behind. This is all behind you, like it is for me now. It is behind me, but it's still emotional to talk about. And I still remember what it felt like to be down and out like that and to have that kind of pain. So for those of you out there suffering, my heart absolutely goes out to you. Know that you're not alone. And coming from somebody who's come out the other side of that, I'm okay, and my life has gone back to normal, and I am doing great, and I'm so thankful for everything. I think being injured like that really makes you appreciate your health, and I've realized in my adult life, if you don't have your health, you really don't have anything. So, thank you so much for tuning in. If you like what I showed you today, liked hanging out with me, please consider subscribing to the channel. And hey, if you've had a traumatic experience with pain and suffering, being down and out physically, and have a story of recovery, I'd love to hear about it. I'd love to hear from you. Please leave a comment down below. Until next time, know that you are very appreciated, and take care.